Hey, what's up? It's me, Tet, or the guy that runs PassTurn, and today we'll be answering some of your guys' questions that we had for the little special 2.2k Q&A thing. So I asked on Twitter, I asked on Discord, and on the YouTube community stuff. So yeah, again, thank you guys for the support of like 2k subs. Like looking back now, holy crap! Like yeah, like I'm hella surprised that it was all like within just less than a year that that we hit this milestone. Today I'm actually using my headset mic because I am not bothered taking out my actual proper mic for this. If it does sound pretty bad, forgive me for that. Anyways, let's go ahead and answer some of your guys' questions. So firstly, we have Archie from Discord asking, 1. Do you wish Vanguard makes more collabs outside of the Bushiroad related IP? 2. Do you have a dream collab for Vanguard? I guess I'd like to see more collabs outside of Bushiroad related IP. I mean, we got our fair few, but also like I'm a bit biased towards having stuff like Bandori or D4DJ and all that stuff. But again, it would be 100% still cool regardless of what they bring. For a dream collab, I think maybe Uma Musume. I think that'd actually be really cool to see. I mean, especially since Bushiroad's doing the whole thing of side games and all that with Shadow vs. Wall. I mean, it's really realistic, but also is a dream collab I wish for Shadowverse in Vanguard. We do have the crits, the Bellringer PG and all that stuff, but like a proper collab would actually be really cool. As for number 3, yeah, I do. I enjoy talking to you guys, and I think you guys who aren't in the Discord server should join. We do a lot of things like streaming the Tuesday reveals, Thursday reveals, and all that stuff. Oh, there's also one more from Archie, because he's on his alt account. I'll still read it out because it's pretty cool. Seeing as you like manga so much, do you actually play rhythm games like Bandori, Prosecco arcade machines like My Mind Tunism? Or do you just watch the anime? Yes, I guess not as much nowadays. I used to, around maybe early high school, I was really into Bandori. I used to be a huge Bandori fan. This was when Bandori EN came out, and god, I was like grinding the hell out of it like day by day. Especially if I remember the Persona 5 collab. Since Roselia actually did sing Memories of You, the ending for Persona 3, I was like, damn, this franchise is awesome. I think this was also around the same time V came out. Like the Roselia actually covered Legendary and all that. I used to have this one account with Arisa as my main like 4-star I think, or 5-star, I forgot which one it was. And then I lost that account and I just cried. And I never reinstalled the game afterwards. Ever since Maigo came out, I didn't really like him at first, surprisingly. I was still more of a Reza Selen, Roselia, Morphonica fan at that time. Getting into anime a little bit more and just listening to the new stuff, especially something like Silhouette Dance, and then everything else just started to like grow onto me, and I just like Maigo now. I'm the Maigo super fan, as y'all know. As for other sort of rhythm games, I did at one point play Prosecco, I did play School Idol Festival, and for arcade machines, stuff like Taiko, My Chunism, yeah. Just when I actually get the chance to play them. More of like a casual thing than an actual, oh yes, I'm going to be super good at this. As for next question, we have Val from Discord server asking Leonore. Very true, I agree. Also, Val, can you give me free broccolis? Thank you. Next we have Reiji from a Discord server asking, as a content creator, do you have a certain motivation in completing your videos? I wouldn't say I do have a certain motivation. It's sort of like I do it on a whim, but also like I just want to be productive for once, if that makes sense. I guess in a way, what sort of motivates me is like, I just really want to make funny video and put it out for the community since my niche isn't actually as prevalent around in the Vanguard community. I hope that a bunch of other people also like pick up this. Check out Kara's channel and Sheriff. Noli on the Discord asks, what clan would you want to be released as the next encounter deck? And 2, what is your favorite VG opening? I mean, we already got Gears. I'm super biased towards Gears, but I think what would actually be really cool maybe would be something like Zeal. I mean, we just got Dayusha, but something like Zeal would be pretty cool. I like Power Neg as a mechanic, but also just Kaijus are pretty cool. I think another one would probably actually be maybe Novas. Something like Beastides, like Ethics Buster and all that stuff, or Victor. Any of the sort, I think would be really cool. As for my favorite Vanguard opening, it's actually a little bit hard, right? Because all the new Divines openings and all that. But if it had to be everything, I'd still go with Mugen Rebirth by Daigo. What's actually close is Jonoka from GZ. Very cool, very cool. I love that opening as well. Calcin on Discord asks, what is the Barug lore? We don't talk about that here. we don't talk about Val's creation. Next from Hoax is, so how did the YouTube channel get started? So the story actually is really not that really interesting. It was just me and Mystic being pretty stupid one night saying, hey, let's make a YouTube channel. So originally the channel icon used to be this cat over here. This I forgot where the original video was from, but it was like a cat that was like sniffing something and then just had this really really goofy reaction. And then for the channel banner, it was just this freaking Danji pose. Yeah, it was just a stupid thing that we were doing because we weren't super serious. But once we actually started like getting into doing videos and all that stuff, like the first one being the Greed on video, I think like I started to realize how much I really enjoyed this sort of format when it comes to editing. Of course, at the moment I do have occasional like creative blocks when it comes to certain edits and all that stuff. I'm just happy that a lot of people have come around just to enjoy the videos I make, pretty much. Riz from Discord server asks, who's the biggest fraud in D era? Non-anime. Is this targeted towards me? Ayrton on Discord asks, I'm gonna butcher this so badly. Nande Haruhikage yatta no? Why did I play Haruhikage? Yeah, one night when I was just labbing Maigo out of nowhere, when I guess I just had Haruhikage in hand, just wanted to mess around. I didn't realize actually Sakuya was a cost. So that night I was like, hey Kai, is this interaction like actually allowed? Because this is the same as what Gears abuses in Premium. And I was like, yeah, it works. And I posted it on Twitter. Vanilla Thunder 20 on the Discord asks, when is the Blangdamar video gonna release? I did post one. It's right here. Minos Prime on the Discord server asks, what is the most overrated and glazed deck in your opinion? For any format, I guess. As for the most overrated and glazed deck in my opinion, despite how much I do like the deck as well, it is unfortunately Zorga. The faded one of potential, as like people say. But I feel like, even though it is overrated, it does deserve it. It's both such a fun deck and such a really flexible sort of deck. To be fair, out of every other deck in Standard, usually Zorga players just can't like agree on a certain list. So I feel like you can definitely be super creative, especially how some players have used Mass to actually push for a really, really nice early game, especially with 10k front row. Enoch from the Discord server asks, 3 years in, how do you feel about the format and overall meta scene in general? I'm probably going to speak on ENs for this because I'm not super qualified to speak for JP, because I don't actually play the format, I don't have access to the cards, yada yada, all that. After having left, I guess, Dog format and Nui format, well, I guess in technicality, I feel like it's a bit dry right now with Set 2. I think it's pretty cool how some old decks can finally shine a little bit, stuff like Messiah, Chronojet, and all that. But I'm happy that stuff like Dog Lord's a little bit gone, despite how much I do also enjoy Lords sometimes. But compared to everything from years back, oh dude, I would take this sort of weird period over something like Lista Gendeva. But I'm glad that a lot of decks nowadays have just evolved more. Like the design philosophy has evolved more compared to how Cavemanish, and I'm glad like stuff from set 6, stuff from set 5 have gotten respective support and all that stuff to become just absolute powerhouses as well. TTK Blazer from Discord asks, what would you rank as the funniest deck ever created? Mostly standard, but premium also works. Unironically, it is Eldeglima. Or, how do you say? Eldeglima? Right, Eldeglima, right? Yeah, whatever this Batman, I just call it Batman. So Uberim, who used to also work on the thumbnails when the channel first started out and all that stuff, has this deck, IRL, and for some reason always hits like free, like 4 orders off the top 5 and just somehow just filtering a crap ton out of it. You'd also play like really funny choices such as Blue Lab, since it only just needs to since it could just be directly played from the deck and all that. You would have Combine Rushers, Shadow Army token stuff. And then for some reason, because I have no idea why, this thing always checks a crit every drive check. And that thing keeps bashing me like for free crit for like 2 swings or something. If he has like, I don't know, like a bajillion orders and well, you know what's even funnier? Like the fact that they can play like the Arcite Ride line and then search their personas and PGs off it. And I'm like, dude, chill. How do you even have shield for this? Lou from the Discord server asks, are the Fated Destined Ones the upbringing or the downfall of Vanguard Standard? And if you could change a primary mechanic for Standard Vanguard, what would it be? I think that the Fated/Destined Ones are pretty awesome. Like, introducing V-Star into this game, like, I mean, we have Gacha Redora, but of course, like, once per fight skills are pretty freaking cool. So yeah, I think it's an upbringing, honestly. Especially since I like the idea of, if I play correctly, my Vanguard skill can just be an actual game winner, but if something goes wrong, then usually I'm cooked. Unironically, like, I like the idea of pressure being built in within a skill, and having these once per turn sort of like effects gives this an extra layer of decision making, which I really like. If I could change a primary mechanic for Standard, it would probably be something similar to G-Guards, like the idea of having like an additional deck of some sort to like guard from, rather than just having to include more main deck options. But I think G-Guards also would be really cool as a way to increase that feeling of interaction between both players. Of course, like it could be just bad and just introducing a really splashable Denial Griffin. K from the Discord asks, what deck is the most special to you? Whether it's a deck you had the most attachment to, the one with the best results, memories, etc. Still, even now, it is Ava. I guess when I first started playing Vanguard a bit more seriously, this began with D, of course. I wanted to find a deck that was both like a little bit more competent and something I could use to learn the game a bit more in depth. When I was choosing prize packs from just finishing up locals, hey, can I have a pack of Sat 5? I ended up pulling a Holo Ava, and that Holo Ava is still with me even now. I was like, maybe I can slowly build Ava, even with the promos being like, what, 40-ish Australian? And while also learning this on simulators like CFA, I started to find out ways to be more efficient with my guarding especially. I started being more aware of the idea of filtering a bit more, started to become a bit more cautious of my CB usage and soul usage, especially with Ava, since it was a time where it was super tight. And it also is the deck that I chose to bring into BSF 2023, and actually managed to get top 8 on my first year of playing Standard competitively, which was like a big core memory for me especially. Even now after set, I would try to keep up with Ava until eventually I had to just move on from it, like going into other meta picks such as Orphis or Rezael or yada yada. And when Immigrant came out, I was actually happy that I could get another chance to play Ava. Oh god, I did not do well in I did not do well in Sydney this year for BSF. But as much shit I can give to Ava, it is still like a little bit of a pet deck to me. I just cannot get rid of it. And just because yeah, it is just a deck special to me. The RJ's channel asks, how would you tier the old Vanguard clans, as in the clans from the original series, G-series included? If I were to do all this would be a really long video, so to be quick and funny, we'll put Great Nature at the top, and then everything else in poo-poo tier, or something like that. Calvin666 on the Discord asks, do you think we'll ever get a local stride set? I mean, it's not out of the question, honestly, right? We have candidates like Loris or whatever, I guess. Happy Go Llama asks, face reveal. Maybe in the future? I don't know, we'll see. FL in the Discord asks, what is your favorite nation and least favorite nation? It probably is Brongate the most. And my least favorite nation, I don't really have one. I guess my least used nation would be Dragon Empires, but because the only decks I really play are like Doji, Tamayura, I guess Java, but I don't have that anymore. And sometimes Varga, but I'm still icky with that deck even now. On YouTube, Dark Basilix 2019 asks, congratulations in 2K. For a question, how about your favorite Cardfight Vanguard lore tidbit? Or if you don't have any, your favorite Vanguard episode? I don't really have a lore tidbit, I guess, but I do like whenever I do get around to like actually reading the lore. I do like how sometimes whatever card fight happens in the anime, also their units have their own respective sort of like interactions. Say for example, Vangādo and Bastion when Sam and Toy were facing off. Don't super quote me on this because I don't remember it as well. I think it was like Vangādo was trying to like assassinate Welser or something, and Bastion just came in to say no. For my favorite anime episode, we'll probably keep it to like D-series because god, I'm not trying to go through like all my memories of watching the original anime and all that stuff. I really liked the fight with Danji and Toya when they were in, what was it? The Nagoya Castle, I think? Ace of Games 1000 asks, first and foremost, congratulations. My first question is, have you seen all of Overdress and Will Dress? If so, who's your favorite character? Along with what was your favorite season? Yes, I have watched Overdress and Will Dress. And I guess my favorite character out of everyone probably is and still will be Toya. I really liked him in season 1 despite season 1 not being the most strongest sort of like season, because his character was just probably unironically the most developed. I also do like how much of a goofball he is and how when he gets serious he does get serious. And even thinking about it now, just dropping out of uni just to play card games is like the most... It is abysmal, but it's the funniest thing I still like have heard. As for my favorite season, I think it's close in between with like season 2 Overdress and season 1 Will Dress. Season 1 has its own can of worms, we all know that. Season 2 and season 3 of Will Dress, well, probably, I guess for season 2 of Will Dress was nice build up, but like it was also a little bit of a nothing burger sometimes. Season 3 has its own can of worms. I don't really want to talk about it as much. It's not the worst I've seen, but there's a lot of holes that I think could be patched in. And I'm glad that Divines does expand a little bit more to fill in these gaps a little bit, even though it's not at its perfect sort of state. Mick McGonagall on YouTube asks, we are not doing this. JK Grass for 2k subs. Here's my question for real. If you could pick one unit to become Fated Destin 1, what would it be and what would that unit's moniker be? If I could choose one unit to become a Fated or Destin 1, I know it would sound very, very like, how would you put it? Like very, very obvious of me to say it. Probably a Verena Fated Destin 1 would be really cool. Either as a rearguard or a vanguard. It could be something generic like Fated 1 of Prayers, Fated 1 of Evolution, yada yada. Ahmad Rifki 3911 on YouTube asks, what is your most bra moment when playing Cardfight Vanguard? Edit. Also, congrats for over 2k subs. My most bra moments. There was this one time where I was playing Prism against one of my friends who was on Jejuled. Around turn 4 on the Persona turn, I played Aesthetic Shot, then I think I dumped like 1 or 2 Valshabines that were just in my hand for no reason. I was like, yeah, this is big. Would you like to take it? He was like, nah. He flips OT. I just gave up. I was cooked. I just could not do anything. OnEdgeZDH on YouTube asks, more IRL/gameplay videos in the future, please. I probably intend to do more gameplay stuff in the future. The issue is really that there isn't really much to go off other than like what the Switch, I think it was called Vanguard EX or something, when for V when that came out. There's also the 3DS games. I only covered Lock on Victory. There's also Deer Days, but that's another story. I kind of wish that there was something a little bit more accessible as like an official platform that isn't like CFA or VangPro and all that stuff. I guess if they made a second Zero, it would be really, really cool as well. As for IRL videos, maybe, have to see. I might show up for Melbourne this year, so maybe look forward to that. Why are you even here? Asks, what is your favorite card of all time? Oh, my favorite card of all time, and still even now, will be History Maker Dragon. CV1 Time Leap. Dilly Lee 4915 asks, so you play overtriggers in your deck without sounding like you have a skill issue and only using it for the Sake one-of. I guess examples would probably be something like Morfessa, Check Rarity, assuming that you have like a shit ton of CB for no reason. I am the Echo on YouTube asks, congrats on 2k. What are the ways you think VG could become better? Me personally, I'd like to have big preprint set every year with cyclers and popular G-free, effect triggers, etc. Love the content. Right now, I think it's really just a matter of just getting product that is super accessible and just getting more people into the game as well. I think definitely something like a big reprint set is also amazing. I freaking love that they did Triple Drive in the first place. Stuff like Youthberg or I guess Prison have become more accessible for new players that go and say, hey, oh, that deck looks really, really cool. I want to play it. And they don't have to go up to, like, I don't know, TCG Player and see, oh, why is Tempest $50? That was a funny era. I wish I didn't have to pay that much for Tempest back then. And also, I guess I really like how they're pushing for the Virgila sort of trial deck, which comes with, like, what was it, effect PGs, Union in the Sky and all that stuff, crits or heals, and even arguably the Virgila ride line is surprisingly generic and can be carried over to other decks. Just chuck out a new player and they probably can just start balling once they actually want to invest more money into it, all that. Carol on Twitter asks, thoughts on Togawa Sakiko? I don't know, like, Tomori, I am change, I'm no longer Saki. Cyan Renegade on Twitter asks, will you ever host a community tournament? Yes, right now, we are actually hosting one right now, depending on if I get this video in by that time, I guess. But for the Discord server, we are actually holding more tournaments. I think Mystic is sponsoring, like, I don't know, like 30 days Nitro or something. If you'd like to join, it's in the description and all that. Please do. We also got like a little tournaments ping. Nin on Twitter asks, what is your favorite ice cream color and why is it pistachio? Listen, I am basic. I am so freaking basic. I don't like pistachio. I like something like chocolate. I like something like vanilla. I'm the most bland person with ice cream flavors, and I would still, even now, would eat something like a sorbet. Aster on Twitter asks, what turn was passed in order to complete the ritual to complete the channel? I have no idea how to answer this, so I'll actually trauma dump a little bit. So what actually made the PassTurn username was actually this one friend at Locals. He played Gravidia against me, especially since we were like, I don't know, practicing for BSF at that point. For some reason, the guy's like a straight up OT magnet out of nowhere. And because of this, he fed on the literal fear of the opponent. Of, hey, do you have PG? Just in case if I like say the game just ends here now. And then when I do actually PG with like, I don't know, like 0 CB or like 0 face up CB or some stuff like that, and they know I have like no ways of countercharging, then they'll just, I don't know, like swing rears, or if I have nothing, just pass turn. Like, the entire channel name is literally built on my own trauma. Hexon Zang on Twitter asks, who is the real PassTurn? Who are you? Logan on Twitter asks, what is your favorite deck and why is it my go? I guess my current favorite deck right now is probably still Blangdamire, but also, yeah, my go is also one of my just favorite decks. I don't know. I've always had a liking towards aggro decks, stuff like Doji and all that stuff. Well, early Doji, not this new one. I still like new one, actually. I've always liked decks that focus more on the aggro, stuff like Snake, Doji, and all that stuff. With Mago, it does bring that really nice element, especially if an IP that I really, really like enjoy even now. And also because I just have high rates for it. Like, unironically, I think had it not been for Vanguard, I wouldn't be as much into Mago, to be honest. I was more interested in Morphonica when the reveals were happening. But for that one day, I was like, hey, I should just sit back, watch this anime. Yeah, sure, let's watch Mago, I guess. And God, it was good. I still do recommend watching Mago, and especially look forward to watching Michika. Sheriff on Twitter asks, what kind of deck would you really want to see made? What kind of aesthetic, gameplay, themes, or effects would you like to see in this ideal deck? If anything, in terms of aesthetic, I still want something that's Kamen Rider-esque. I know. We've had stuff like Mass Force, this really weird promo that we got, and a few sort of like ones in Dimension Police, but we never actually got something close to that, I guess. I mean, sure, we got Messiah doing the rider kick and all, but I think it would be really, really cool if there was something around that. Sure, we do have B heroes, but that's that's not it. I think in this ideal deck, I do like the idea of ride lines generating like token set orders. It is really, really cool, and I think they should probably do this even more. Senever on Twitter asks, are there other TCGs that you would play? I actually used to play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot when I was a kid. Had I not played Yu-Gi-Oh, I wouldn't have like got a friend that said, "Hey, here's Vanguard," froze at my face, and I started enjoying this game a bit more. As for other stuff, I guess if we're also counting CCGs, I used to play a little bit of Magic when I was younger. I'm a little bit on and off with Pokemon, Shadowverse, and Shadowverse Evolve, and casually I do play Wise at times. It is also pretty fun. Martin S on Twitter asks, more Hexon Zang content when? And following up is the Emberfang. This is exactly the question we were all asking. When is my man Hexon Zang going to get out of his wrongful imprisonment in Transgraham's editing sweatshop? I still don't know who this guy is. I don't know why you're asking me this, but probably and maybe might show up for the Melbourne sort of vlog, if that does happen. My Metal Cards on Twitter asks, was the decision to abolish clans for nations a good or bad decision? I think like merging clans into nations has its own like pros and cons, such as I like the idea of introducing generics that still can support decks even if they're sort of neglected in some sort of sense. So there isn't really like a certain imbalance between clans getting more stuff than other clans. And to be technical as well, like clans now are really just self-contained into ride lines, thinking about it. The only issue really is of course just staples and other nation generics becoming super expensive. This includes whether it is it's like a grade 1 that retires itself and draws a card, or stuff like effect triggers. But other than that, I do like the idea of nations. To the Max Store on Twitter asks, what are your thoughts on Bushi replacing the main grade 3 of a deck? Think Java, Bruce, Welser, etc. Replacing the red line grade 3 allows a deck to compete with the modern format, but that unit can also hold a lot of sentimental value to its players in my opinion. I miss Maharlol. While I think it is a bit unfortunate, there are a few grade 3s Vanguards that do have to get that little upgrade and replacement. Say for example, Welstra compared to Divine's Welstra. But I like the idea sometimes of having two sort of separate like directions, such as Viamance and G3, G4 Bruce. They both use similar cards that support their archetype, but they also do play differently in their own sense. Not a super big replacement, but also that little upgrade in a technical sense. Commander Jaime on Twitter asks, what made you start a YouTube channel, and what is your next YouTube goal? Before I started this YouTube channel, I did have like an older YouTube channel. If you search up my username, it should come up. I used to make a few like shitposty vids as well. Once I got into Vanguard a bit more competitively, I really wanted to just ramble a little bit more, talking about card games that I really liked. And there was also this little niche that I didn't really see in the YouTube community, which was like the deck analysis sprinkled with a little like, I wouldn't say humor, just ADHD fuel or something like that. But yeah, regardless, I think the community does need more content creators, and I definitely encourage you guys to probably start up your own YouTube channels. For my next YouTube goal, take it step by step, like go from 3K, 4K, 5K, etc, etc. But I guess maybe I do want to eventually start collabing with other content creators. It could be really cool. I don't know. If you're interested, please do hit me up. Maybe. I don't know. Excellent on Twitter asks, hello good sir, I have a few questions. 1. How long have you been playing Vanguard for? Which encounters would you like to see next? What got you into Vanguard? Reverse or Mask? Most hated mechanic? And why Trickstar? So I've actually been playing Vanguard since, I guess, junior high school? Or, well, middle school for you American folk. So this was probably around like year 7, year 8. So around when V was just starting and GZ just started ending around that time. After a few years passed over that little honeymoon period I had with the game, I just got bored. I didn't really do much with it because I think I probably even forgot about it low-key. Then I think around 2021, when Overjust was just starting, or maybe like early 2022, I went to Melbourne and actually went to Neko Cards out of like one day of just seeing, oh, that's a card game store. Because at this time I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So I was like, hey, I'm trying to look through card stores, maybe they have singles and all that. I went through their desk and I saw like this, I think it was the Yu Yu Trial deck? And I was like, oh, Vanguard, I haven't seen that in forever. Hey, how much is this trial deck? They told me like, oh, we're selling that for $7. I actually like lost my mind when I heard that, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take it, hell yeah. So a few months pass, and I was like thinking, hey, I need to get into a certain card game, but I don't really want to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I have my own trauma with like Master Duel. So I looked towards Vanguard, got into it a little bit more, looked into the more advanced mechanics such as like damage now, magic numbers, etc. Around maybe like when the Raika or Michiru trial decks came out, I started actually going to my first locals. Of course, I got bodied. Wow, surprising. But it was such a friendly community, I was like, dang, I want to come here more and more and more. And even now, I still go to that same locals. Especially since I've just made so many friends that I even talk to now. And just months, and look where we are. Woohoo, I have the YouTube channel. I talked about the encounters earlier, but I'll probably say something, I don't know, like Ramiel. As for Reverse or Mask, I still like the aesthetic of Reverse. I'm sorry. Most hated mechanic will still be Cross Overdress. I still hate going -2 most of the time. And why Trickstar? I don't really have a reason why Trickstar. It's just funny little creature. I was like, yeah, that'll be the channel icon. Nick on Twitter asks, what is an underused or underexplored mechanic from previous eras that you would like to see revamped or reimagined? Also continue with the good work. This mechanic wasn't super underused or underexplored, but I'd still like to see it in Standard again. That mechanic being Shadow Stitch. We sort of got that with Nino, but like having it with an actual like nation sort of unit, that would be really, really cool. Kamino Spirit on Twitter asks, what do you think is the best and worst Seta in the whole D-Series run, and why? It will still be Gandeva Willista. I think that's about it. Thank you guys for actually giving me some questions to look over. Hopefully, maybe in, I don't know, like 5K, 4K if I'm like really desperate for content. But anyways, if you like the video, please give it a like, leave a comment, please hit that subscribe. There isn't really much. Like, I do want to say thank you again for sticking around for the channel, even if you're new. And please still look towards my future videos. But anyways, see you guys in the next video. Peace. Her parents just divorced, bro. Hello?
I didn't know that.
Did you see what she was fucking scribbling on, bro? Oh, when I don't have backbone, my father is gone, bro. What the fuck?
Just find a new one.
Oh my god.